So again, it's been a while. I just have not had time to make videos, but I did want to make this one because I realised my Monarch Run video somehow has 2,000 views. So people must have really liked that sort of thing. I enjoy doing it, it's how I collect, so I decided I'm going to use what little time I have left before I'm off to US to show you my updated Monarch collection. I'll quickly show it there. So that's from Charles III to Henry V. A lot more than last time. I have way more hammers now, as you can see. Oh, the fridge has come alive again. Always does that. And then there are the older ones starting Henry IV. And I've decided to end it William the Conqueror just because Anglo-Saxon ones are like expensive. And I have about 70p in my account, so you know, I may as well dream, but no point adding them just yet. Right, so let's get started. So I mean, for the ones Charles III to maybe Victoria, I might have a right lot to say about them, just because not much has happened really. So like, for this one, it's a 50p, everyone knows what that is. Charles III, new monarch, and that's his coronation, 50p, so 2022. I think it was 7th May, if I remember correctly. Actually, no, that was his coronation in 2023. This was the Ascension, 50p, my mistake. Nice design, shows up in the Elizabeth II one too. So yeah, off to the next one. I'm just going to pause it quickly. Right, there we go, the next one. Here is Elizabeth II, one of my biggest ones here. I think it's about 39.4mm. So this is the New York Exhibition crown. I don't know much about it, but there's a coin made for it, so it must have been pretty big. So that's 1960, same design as the Charles III one. You always find them in a quite nice condition. No edge inscription on this one, but still quite a nice design, both sides. That's the younger bust of Elizabeth II. Off to the next one. I'm pretty sure everyone has this one. This is the Festival of Britain crown for George VI. 5 shillings, the most famous design on a British coin, I'd say, and definitely my favourite. George slaying the dragon. That's 1951. That one does have edge inscription. So there we go. That was in commemoration of the Festival of Britain, 1951. And again, a nice coin. As I said, I don't write much to talk about with these ones. This one's interesting though. This is George V, rocking horse crown. This was for his 25 years of reign. I've forgotten what that's called. It's a jubilee. Is it golden or silver? It's one of those anyway. 1935, which means this is 50% silver. And the cool thing is, it has the same edge inscription that older crowns and half crowns have. Decus et tu tamen, anno regni, and then 25. So an ornament and safeguard in His Majesty's 25th year of reign. So that's 50% silver, first silver content one. And then this one, this is a half crown from 1907 with the bald man himself, Edward VII. So that's 1907, half crown shield design with the Order of the Garter around and crowned, of course. This is another nice design, in my opinion. It's a bit worn. It just looks like one blob, really. No hair. He didn't have much anyway, though, luckily. So that's the next one up. Oh, this one, I really need to replace this. This was probably my last one. I can't remember how long ago it was. This is a Victorian crown, 1890. Nice reverse Victorian, but this side is just really heavily oxidised because this is one of my oldest ones in my collection that I've had for the longest, I mean. And I had this before I actually kept them in capsules, so I just kept it laying around, which is a travesty, really. So, of course, it's just oxidised far more than I'd really like. So I might get a crown sometime, another one. So the next one is a William IV half crown. This is where it gets... Oh, okay then. This is where it gets interesting, I was going to say, before he tried making a run for it. So George IV with the 4 ones, 4 eyes even, Britannia Rex Fit Def. So this is a really interesting design. I really like this. This is the British standard shield, I think, and then the Hanoverian one in the middle. It's quite a bit worn, but I want to show you something just at the bottom there. I think I made a video about this, so you might remember it, but you can see George and the Dragon right at the bottom of the shield, which is one of my favourite details of that. So this is one of my ones I've had for a long time, this. William IV, Victoria's uncle. So the next coin up, I'm going to pause it again. Just pausing to take drinks really. Talking makes me thirsty, so. Next one, George IV. This is actually kind of the same story as the Victorian one over there. It's just really heavily oxidised. But I did keep this in a capsule, but the capsule, it like broke when I kept them in a tin. So it's just oxidised on one side and a bit there. But this is a nice design, Benedetto Pistrucci even. And that is the Decus et tu tamen, Anno Regni Secundo, so that's his second year of reign in 1821. Ruled from 1820 to 1830. And that's another really nice design with his, probably my favourite portrait of George IV. Looks proper Roman, he really liked the Romans. So that's another nice one. And here's the final crown that shows George and the Dragon. And the oldest one too. It has the old Order of the Garter around the edges, which I like this designer crown the best because it has the extra bits. Honi soit qui mali pense. Shame on he who thinks evil of it. That line goes incredibly hard. And George III, 1820, he actually died that year on 29th January, so this could have been posthumous. Georgius III, De Gratia Britanniarum Rex Fid Def. So that's his latest bust, which shows him as an old man, or it should be. He looks fairly young there. And this one is also oxidised badly. It's just what happens with all my crowns. I really need to learn to store them better. Just going to pause it again. I actually ran out of water that time. That was bad. And I've just realised I've only just got to George II and we're 7 minutes in. I need to hurry this up. I've got to get to Henry II. Alright, let's hurry this up. George II, last king to march into battle. This was made 1758 and shows the crown cruciform shield design. There's a hidden lion on his shoulder plate. And this is a shilling, quite a small coin compared to the crown. Got the milled edges and another nice one. This has been in my collection for a while. George I, this is a shilling, first monarch of the House of Hanover. 1720, so it's not the South Sea Company one with SSC, is it, I think? That's 1720, so that was made 6 years after he started his reign. You can see the cramped legend because, of course, he were the Elector of Hanover. So he had all his German titles squeezed on. You got Brunswick up there. There were another one, I can't remember. They had really weird names back then. So another nice one that's been in my collection for a while too. Just going to pause it again, I need more water. Okay, I'm back, and this is a Queen Anne shilling. So usually I upgrade or swap or just get new coins as a whole for my Monarch collection or Monarch Run. But this one has stayed the same ever since I got it back in 2023 when I started collecting. So this is like one of the originals, Queen Anne shilling, 1711, August 2023, that's when I got it. And so that was my first ever silver coin in my collection. Quite a nice one, a Stuart design. That's Queen Anne, a fairly rare monarch to get coins of. And that's still going to be one of my favourites, I reckon. So my next one here, this is my biggest coin. So William III crown, again oxidised. Wow. That used to be really shiny if you've seen my William III crown video. This used to be a lot more brighter silver. So Gulielmus III de Gratia, a really nice strong portrait there, very clear. The other side's a bit worn around the edges because I think it actually made on a wider flanks. It's like 41mm, it's a massive coin. So you see Magbur France et Hibrex, King of Great Britain, France and Ireland. That was made 1695 and that's his Septimo, so 7th year of reign. It's quite worn, you can just about see it on the edge there. So that would have been the same Decus et tu tamen, Anno Regni Septimo. So the next one, don't even fit. Like, I don't know if you can see that. It's like, it's so big you have to squeeze it in. There we go. That sounded wrong. Okay, William and Mary half crown. So this is actually one of my favourite ones because of the dual portrait. Gulielmus et Maria de Gratia. And then you got the shield design on the back, 1689. So this is right at the start of the reign. And it does say something on the edge, but it's very worn. It would say Decus et tu tamen, Anno Regni Primo. So this was their first year of reign. Another nice one. I don't know if this one are actually in my last video. I think it was a halfpenny still. Infinitely better. I like the half crowns from their reign. Now here's one of my favourite ones. Finally not an overly oxidised one too. To an extent like there maybe, and up there. So that's Jacobus II de Gratia, James II. His silver coinage is quite rare, unless you want like a Maundy. Seen quite a few 4pences. I'm going to go for one of those originally. So that's 1687. The only true wear is there. Still just about see the 1, maybe the 6. Can't quite tell from here, but you see the Order of Vergata in the centre, Vergata star, crowned cruciform shields with a lot of detail actually. Look at the crowns. So this is still one of my favourite ones. This would be Decus et tu tamen, Anno Regni Tertio, his 3rd year of reign. So he didn't actually rule for that long. He ruled from 1685 to 1688 before he was deposed by this lot here. Glorious Revolution. And I'm at 11 minutes and I'm not even halfway through here. Oh god. Right, we're going to have to speedrun this again. Charles II, half crown. This is pitted and clean, but it shows Carolus II de Gratia. This was the first milled coinage of England and Britain as a whole, really. Or true milled coinage. They did have milled coinage in Elizabeth I's reign, but I think it was more like a test run. So this is 1677. This will be Decus et tu tamen, Anno Regni Vicesimo Nono, which is like 29th year of reign. Which is a fun fact, he didn't actually rule for that long, but they counted Oliver Cromwell's time in the Commonwealth as his reign, which is quite cool, honestly. Half crown, silver, very nice. I've got to catch up, and then I have my awesome Commonwealth coin, as you can see. It's really detailed. And then you have Charles I, first hammered one of this. Still a decent portrait. You don't really expect good ones from hammered ones, like the first to wear down, high relief. And there's the shield design. This is triangle in circle Mintmark, so it was made at Tower of London in his late reign, I think. So that's a nice one, a shilling, quite a big hammered. So we're on to James I now. I'm picking up the pace here. Ruled from 1603 to 1625. The cousin of Elizabeth I and the son of Mary Queen of Scots. This is a 6pence, slightly smaller. This is a 1604, so a year before the Gunpowder Plot. That shows the shield design. It's actually the first one to show Scotland and Ireland in the quartered shield, which is quite nice. Of course, you can't really see it on here, it's a bit worn. But still a nice one to have, fills my slot there. I'm going to pause it again to get some water. Well, way easier when I didn't have to talk, honestly. I'm like, going to make one mistake here and have to start again. I might just keep it in for laughs if I do. So here's Elizabeth I, a 6pence. And this one's good because the orientation is just like that. Usually it's all wonky. 1579, so right in the midst of Francis Drake's circumnavigation of the world, which was, I think, 1578 to 1581. Correct me if I'm wrong. So that's Possui Deum Adiutorem Mev, or Meu or something, because it's Latin. The portrait's quite worn here. There's like a weird mark in there, I don't know, oxidation maybe, oxidization. Rose to the right of the head, and this is really clear, like, looks like the lions are screaming, like, ah! That's my lion noise, there we go. Okay, so this is one I didn't realise I needed, because they did have coins of Philip and Mary, of just Philip. So they did make them, I'm going to go for a Groat because they're more affordable than like a sixpence or a shilling. But yeah, that's a gap I need to fill now. There's a few hairs on here. So it's just Mary on her own. This was made in 1553 because it's a pomegranate Mintmark, or 1554. Bloody Mary, she burnt 283 Protestants and is still called bloody for only that many, when Henry VIII executed like 40,000 people. So this does have one of the best sort of mottos on here. Temporis, I can't bloody remember now, this is bad. Veritas Temporis Filia, I think it is, which is like truth is the daughter of time, which is just a great motto to have. Only appeared on this sort of coin, which is a shame, honestly, seeing this reverse here for Edward VI, which is the next one. It always sort of had the Possui Deum, that had been like the quote on it for ages. Always on a Groat or a half Groat. So this is Edward VI, it's whoops. This is a shilling, not a shit. So Edward VI ruled from 1547 to 1553. He's gone, he's left the coin apparently, only his crown's there. The legend's clear though, so that's why I got this, as well as a reverse. Kind of has a weird effect to it, like, you know, when you see a puddle of oil, like a sort of rainbowy effect. Guess that's just the luster of this. This is my biggest hammered one. It like makes my Charles I one look fairly small. So that's quite a rare one. That one 97 quid. Well spent. Henry VIII, one of the most popular ones, ruled from 1509 to 1547, and he was House Tudor. Bit worn, bit chipped, bit bad really, but you know, this is a Bristol mint Groat. It could be posthumous because they were all minted into his late reign and like up until I think 1549, so halfway into like Edward VI's reign. Quite a nice design though, interesting portrait, you can just about see his beard and eye. Don't know, he looks a bit miserable honestly. Then the shield's just quite worn, cracked, chipped there. But you could see CIVI TAS Bristoli for Bristol. This is 17 minutes long, I need to pause this. I would say this is uncut, but it's not. I just don't have a script, I'm just going along. Just doing it as I go along, 17 minutes, I haven't got many left. So Henry VII, first monarch of the House of Tudor, ruled from 1485 to 1509. Father of Henry VIII. This is a really nice condition one. I won this on auction because they'd misidentified it as a half Groat, but this is definitely a Groat based on the legend and the size. Really nice design, patina, kind of like a rusty red colour. One of my favourites. And actually is the first profile Groat too, so all the others feature this design, which is the facing portrait of like basically the same guy for 600 years. This is Edward IV, a Groat from Bristol, just like the Henry VIII one. I actually got this about 3 days ago. One of my favourite ones already though, because it's just a rare mint, to be fair, one you don't see. An Edward IV right in the middle of the War of the Roses. Quite a nice design, quite a nice history. One I've been looking for ages. So there he is, Edward IV, House of York. And CIVI, actually no, it would be Villa Bristoli, or Bristol on here, because it were actually a town at this point. Or at least classed as such. Here's Henry VI. Oh yeah, I actually missed out Henry, oh yeah. Richard III and Edward V here, which came before Henry VII, but I don't have those sadly. Henry VI, and a really, really nice coin, one of my favourites. This is a half Groat or a 2p. Now this reverse for writing, look at that Deum there. That's incredibly clear. And this is Villa Calais. This is Calais, France, back when England controlled Calais. We actually lost Calais in Bloody Mary's reign, so in the 1550s. Just a nice coin in general. And now it's gone. Wow. So we just about reached the end of the red case, just on the 20-minute mark. Now look at the state of this. This is a Henry V penny. Well, it could be. You know, it looks a bit battered. It's double struck. As you can see, his shoulders kind of break upwards there. Got a mullet to the left of the head. A mullet's just a star. The reverse does it a lot better though. So this is CIVI TAS Eboraki, City of York. And this would have been made under the watch, I guess, of the Archbishop. I don't want to say the word wrong. Ecclesiastical. Just means it were made by the Archbishop of a place, of a territory, instead of the actual mint of a country. Absolutely battered. I need a better one, but it were £8, and it's a gap I needed filling. Right, onto the black case over there. Right, there we go, moved around, and I really need to hurry here. It's 20 minutes long. It's my longest video yet. Right, so Henry IV there. I haven't got him yet. They're very expensive due to the absolute state of his coinage, but this is Richard II. Like a line going across the face there, but there's still details visible. Got a lease on the breast. That'll be Ricardus Rex Angli, Richard King of the English. So this is actually like a really nice one for Richard II, one I was missing. Another York penny, another ecclesiastical, I don't know. I'll have to put that in at the end if I remember. So this is quite a nice one. This was in his reign between 1377 and 1399, I think. So quite a nice one. Got the quatrefoil in the centre. Quite a small one too, but that's just hammered coins. Or it would be if we didn't have this massive one here. This is Edward III. This is a pre-treaty Groat. And this was made in York too, but I ain't got the quatrefoils. So this is one of my biggest hammered ones. It's a bit worn. Looks like he has two tiny eyes. It's kind of ridiculous, but double struck on the reverse. You can see there it's kind of doubled up. So Eboraki, York. A nice one. Again, it uses the Possui Deus legend. So yeah, this is a nice one. And for this next one, if you're watching my old video, I called this an Edward I penny. I got it wrong, it's Edward II. It's an absolute mess between those two. It's horrible, I hate identifying them. So yeah, the portrait's gone. Someone must have got mad or something, rubbed the face off. This side too a bit. I've tried punching a hole through, you see the little thing there, and it punches out of this bit too. It's got high relief. So you can just about read it. The camera's telling me to move back. You can see this. I hope I haven't been showing blurry coins the whole time. That would be awful. So this is Canterbury. Yet to identify the class because it's not right much you can see from that. But still a nice one. Edward II ones are quite rare compared to the others. Now this is an absolute beauty. I got this for £12.50 on an auction because the listing looked terrible. Whoever'd taken it, like, they'd made it look like a green blob, to be fair. Now, not only is this a really nice condition for Edward I, it's also an error, because on the other side, we'll try zooming in here, I don't know if you can see that. See DON, there, D-O-N. The N is reversed, or in retrograde, that's what it's called. And it means when someone were making it back in the 1200s, they put the N in backwards, basically. And it does it for all of those on there except one. And that actually makes it quite rare, because it's actually an error penny. So that is one of my favourite ones, made in 1279 exactly, because it's class 1C. And so I've got to hurry up here, it's on the 25-minute mark nearly. I don't know if my phone will just like stop halfway through. Henry III, one of the longest reigning kings in English history, though didn't really get to rule because of Simon de Montfort. Bit worn, kind of just see the face there and the 3 for third. The other side's quite clear. This was made by a Willem on Canterbury, so they actually included the person who made them. And this is Henry III, I think, I don't remember exactly. Ruled from the 1240s to 1272. His son was Edward I, and his father was King John. Speaking of which, here is John. It's so small it fell on my hand. So this is a quarter cut penny. If you've watched my other video, I've said that a lot in this video, but I explained they used to cut them into quarters and into halves to get half pennies and farthings, or farthings. And this was made by a Rauf at London, spelled R-A-U-F, or Ralph. So it's like, you can't really make a lot out of that. I can't really see much. That is ENR for hENRICVS. So, because in Henry II, Richard I, and Henry III and John, actually, they all just said hENRICVS on them because the currency needed to be strong. Just like it says that on there. This is a Henry II penny. I'm going to say it again. If you've watched the video, you would have seen this. Basically in half. I really need a new one, but the portrait was so nice I had to get it. This is Henry II, made between 1180 to 1189 at Winchester by an Adam. That is hENRICVS Rex. And then on this side, got to be really careful with this. So that's Adam on WINC, or Winch for Winchester. And so that is it. I really had, like, sorry for taking so long. 7 minutes on the beginning of that one there. So there we go, that's the Monarch collection. You can see the gaps I have there. On that one. So I'm nearly done. I think my next one I'm going to get either one of those two, Commonwealth or Philip and Mary. Usually not too expensive. Sometimes can be, but I'm going to go for a Groat for that and a penny for that. They're usually quite affordable. Not a chance for those yet. They're in the hundreds and thousands. This lot, expensive. Decent if you find it on auction. I saw one that went for 70. Stephen, usually in the hundreds, sometimes thousands and hundreds. So, far off that one, not too far off that one. So, thanks for watching. This is nearly half an hour. How was my phone not broken? I don't think I can add my fancy medieval music in this one. Oh no. Right, thanks for watching. I might see you soon. I'm off to Florida now. Right, goodbye.